Welcome to 6 Million Seeds. My name is Meryl, and this is my partner in crime, Carrie Bruno. Today we're talking about batch cooking and beans. We'll be doing some batch cooking of chickpeas from dry beans, and we'll be using an Instapot and talking all about how we manage beans and working with that and working during the week.
Yes,
right?
Yes, for sure.
All right. So one of the things we wanted to bring up, obviously, people ask us all the time, right? Like, isn't eating whole food plant-based expensive? I had someone just ask me that yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
Isn't it expensive, more expensive than eating burgers and chickens and things like that? What do you say when people ask you that?
Well, I would have to say that I was probably one of those people before I switched to whole food plant-based. But if you look at the staples of things that you commonly eat, a lot of them are a lot less expensive than what you would be eating otherwise. Like beans are very inexpensive,
Right.
and fruits and vegetables. It obviously depends on if you go organic or how you purchase them, but they're fairly inexpensive.
Yeah.
So
To be sure, like you can buy a bag of beans. I think this is a 2-pound bag of dried beans, and it costs about $1.29 where we live.
Yeah.
We're in Wisconsin. You can also, if you're, really shopping around or they're on sale or whatever, you can get them down as low as 99 cents.
yeah,
And that'll make quite a lot of beans once they're cooked,
Yep.
right?
enough for the whole week.
Yeah, for sure, depending upon how many people are in your family and how many people you're serving. But 1 cup of dried beans can make 2 to 3 cups cooked, which will get you through a whole week if you're
Exactly.
it's mostly you, or maybe you and 1 or 2 other people.
And if you are, if you don't have a whole family of people that would be eating them and you make a huge portion, they are able to be frozen.
Mhm.
So, you can still batch cook and they won't be wasted.
Right. All right, so should we get started? Let's
Yes,
make these
yes,
beans,
of course.
right? Okay, cool. All right.
So one thing that I wanted to mention, some of our viewers might not be familiar with an Instapot. Personally, I don't own one. So in the times that I've batch cooked beans, I do it with a regular pot or Dutch oven. So we might maybe want to clarify differences in cooking
Yeah,
methods.
for sure. And actually, I didn't have an Instant Pot until the COVID hit. It was one of my COVID comfort purchases. So people have either a regular pot, like a good sized Dutch oven, right? Or French oven, or you have an old fashioned pressure cooker, right?
Mhm.
Or you have this type of thing. Now, most of the world has an old fashioned pot, right? I don't
Yes.
think people are necessarily cooking everywhere that people eat chickpeas. They're not cooking in Instant Pots. This is
No, for sure.
a minor luxury,
Mhm.
not at all necessary,
Exactly.
right?
Works just as well, just takes a little bit more time.
That's right. And we have to prepare the beans a little bit different.
Correct.
Okay. So to use a standard pot, you would soak the beans overnight, right? And then rinse the beans, add more water the next morning, and cook them on stovetop. And that can take a few hours. You
Yes.
cook till the beans are soft, so at least
Okay.
3 hours, something like that. Today we are using the Instant Pot. We're going to cook 1 whole 2-pound bag of beans. And so we'll show you how to do that and let you know some of the glories of chickpeas in particular. You'll notice the Instant Pot sings a song when you take the lid on or off. I don't know why they do that, just I guess because they
For
can.
fun.
Right? It's more fun that way, right? Okay, so we are going to dump 2 pounds of beans. Okay, so this is the front of the Instant Pot. See, it's got some pretty high tech looking, right? It's got some different presets and stuff like that on it. We're going to use manual high pressure for like 35 minutes. Okay. You can also, there's presets that say beans and chili and stuff.
I noticed that.
It seems to me that that doesn't cook the beans as well or as done as I like.
Okay.
But you can play around with it. Comes with instructions. There are books you can buy. One of the books that I have used, it has some great charts in it. It's called Vegan Under Pressure. I'll have to get the author of that for you. It's right over there. So that's this book, Vegan Under Pressure by Jill Nussinow. Okay. All right. So we're going to start by putting the beans in the Instant Pot. Just going to use them all because we can, and because we'll wind up eating them during the week anyway. Then I add enough water. This is just water to cover the beans. So that's 1/4. Add a little bit more, maybe half. Let's say it's 1.5 quart. Good. You could add salt if you want to. We are not going to because we're actually going to use these beans to make a variety of different dishes, and salt may or may not be needed for any of the dishes. One of the things we're going to make is
chickpea blondies,
which are some good stuff. You'll notice Instant Pot sings our song, and there it is. It's ready to go. All right. So I'm going to go pressure cook and then increase time. And the pot does the rest of the work. If you wanted to check to see if the beans are done or it gets to, I don't know, let's say it gets to 37 minutes and you want to open it, you have to release the pressure, which is up here at the top, right here. But we're not going to do all that just now. Okay, I'm going to switch this back.
So one of the things we mentioned before is that chickpeas and beans in general are inexpensive. But there are definitely other attributes to incorporating in your diet. One of them is they're very versatile and pretty much a staple of whole food plant-based.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Beans are where we get a lot of our iron and our zinc and our protein for sure.
And fiber.
Yes, fiber for sure.
And they just taste good.
Yeah, they do. They do. So versatile. You can season them up all kinds of different ways. And they're really good for different meals.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me, what would you eat chickpeas for breakfast? How would that work?
Well, recipes that I've seen and I've actually tried before, you can use them for like chickpea flour, you can use as an omelet or in pancakes. So two pretty common uses that can incorporate a lot of other vegetables.
Right,
fruit.
right. There's one recipe. I have a friend who just went to France and she told me about a recipe called socca, S-O-C-C-A. We'll have to try that one day. Okay, and if you were going to have chickpeas for lunch, what would you do?
Yeah, so many different options. Normally, I'll just have them over rice or vegetables in whatever sauce I want that day. You can also do a curry. You could do like a hummus and then incorporate that into different dishes. Very, very versatile. So many different things. I can't even name all of them.
One that I really like is chickpea curry with coconut milk.
Okay.
In fact, we're going to make that a little bit later.
Yes.
We'll make a Thai curry, which will be good. Maybe with peanut sauce. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Either one.
Okay. And if you were going to do dinner and lunch are pretty similar, right? But if you were going to say switch that off and use chickpeas at a dinner, what would you do?
So a lot of the things, like you said, that I would eat for dinner are same things I would incorporate for lunch. But one of the things I do try and incorporate into my dinners is salads. And chickpeas or beans in general is an easy addition to any salad. If you already have canned or already baked or cooked from a dry, then they're an easy addition to any salad.
Right.
It gives it some substance.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Sometimes even in the salad with chickpeas, I'll add brown rice or some sort of a grain, quinoa, barley, farro, something like that.
Yeah.
And that also gives a lot of bulk, like meaning fiber, right?
Yes.
Which can help keep you from getting hungry as fast.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's good to incorporate that into the salad and have the salad be the thing you eat first to fill you up a little bit more, to maybe cause you to eat a little bit less of the entree.
Right.
So
right, true. One thing we might add about salad in general, given that you're taking in all that vegetable fiber, it does fill the belly.
yes.
And with very few calories, lots of fiber and some good whole carbohydrates, whole foods in general. But with that much fill of plant foods, you're not getting a whole lot of calories. So it can actually help you lose weight.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So.
All right. So we have ours cooking and it takes about 30 some minutes. So we're going to let them cook and then come back later and see how they turn out.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, Carrie, we're back.
Yes.
These beans are ready. They've been going for 37 minutes and the Instapot just beeped and let us know it's done. So I'm going to do a manual release of the steam. Now, a lot of people will remember those old-fashioned pressure cookers, the horror stories of where your mom was cooking beets in the pressure cooker and she forgot to let the steam release all the way and she took the lid off and the beets flew up and exploded in the ceiling. Those are horror stories.
That will not happen today.
No, we'll not be doing that today. So the beans we believe are cooked. I'm going to do a manual release of the steam and we'll be able to check them. It's a little bit noisy, but not really. Just steam releasing. So as soon as that all releases, we'll be able to open the pot and check the beans.
So not having used an Instapot before, would it let you take off the top without doing that?
I don't think so.
Okay. A good safety measure.
Right. I never tried, but I don't think
Don't
it
really want
will.
to?
No. I've actually resisted using Instant Pots. I had a manual old-fashioned pressure cooker.
Okay.
And I was really okay and comfortable using that. I never had the horrifying experience of the pot exploding. So I didn't, I had not, that was not a thing for me to worry about just because I never had the experience. And so I always kind of felt like just cooking beans in a regular pot was fine. What's the big deal? Okay, so it's 4 hours or 5 hours, right?
Yeah.
Big deal. But these days, I cook a lot more beans dry, and they are very much more cost effective when you cook them from scratch from dry beans. Okay, so the steam is done releasing now, and there's a little indicator right here on the pot, which I didn't show you, but it actually is a little button that lifts up when the steam is high, and you won't. It's an indicator to say don't open the lid. Right now that we've released the steam, this little button has dropped down. You can't see it anymore.
Good.
It sings us its song.
That has to be a good sign.
Yeah. Oh, it's hot. Don't do that. Right. And we're going to do a test. Oh, yes. Okay, let me have your plate.
Okay.
Now, the water, one thing we didn't talk about, Carrie, was the water that's around these beans. The water around any beans, once you cook them from dry, is called aqua faba. That literally means bean water, maybe in Latin or Italian or something like that. The water that's used to cook chickpeas or garbanzo beans is very useful. And we could do a whole segment on that alone, on garbanzo bean aqua faba, which we can use as a replacement for eggs. You can actually whip it to stiff peaks like meringue.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, very, very useful stuff. I've used it in salad dressings and other things. It's very, very useful. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about that in another episode.
Okay.
But here we have our beans, and actually I'll switch the camera view so we can see how soft they are. Okay. Let's see, are they soft? Yes.
Perfect.
Mashable, totally mashable, right?
Yeah.
Okay, shall we taste it? All right, now I gotta switch the camera view. All this technology. Okay,
All right.
here we go. Ready?
They're mashable, but they still have a good texture
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna eat them.
Yeah.
whole.
Yeah,
And they're definitely cooked enough.
great. So that was 37 minutes on high pressure.
Okay.
If you wanted them softer, say you wanted to really like have a smooth paste for a hummus,
Yeah.
maybe you would cook them a little bit longer.
Okay.
Maybe 39 minutes.
Okay.
It's not a big difference. But these are certainly worthy of
And you could
hummus also.
always taste test and then put them back in.
You could.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, that's it. It has been a pleasure chatting with my friend Carrie and showing about batch cooking beans from scratch, dry
Yes.
beans. So if you have any questions or have any comments, definitely put your messages in the chat and we'll get back to you.
Yes.
You can email us at 6mseeds@pvnm.org. And anything else you want to add?
We will hopefully be using the chickpeas for a different recipe, the chickpea blondies, and that will be hopefully coming soon.
All right. I'm looking forward to those.
Yes.
Okay, that's it for us for today. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.